Okay, so if you ever notice this, you get like a brand new pair of workout shoes, and suddenly, bam,
Yeah.
you feel unstoppable.
Haha. Yeah. Like you could run a marathon backwards.
Right. Like you can outrun a cheetah. But what's interesting is there's this whole movement now, right? People ditching their shoes altogether.
Really?
Yeah, going barefoot for like weightlifting and stuff.
Huh. See, I'd be worried about dropping a weight on my toes.
Yeah, there's definitely two sides to this whole shoe thing. So that's where we're diving into all that today. Like, how do shoes or no shoes, affect how we work out, mentally and physically, all of it?
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's really fascinating, actually. Like, one thing the research points out is that new shoes, they can actually give us a mental boost. It's like that fresh start feeling.
Oh, totally. New gear always gets me pumped.
Exactly. And it's not just in your head. There was this study where athletes wearing brand new shoes, they performed, get this, 10% better.
Wow, 10%. What kind of study was this?
It was agility drills. But yeah, 10%. So it seems like even subconsciously, when we believe in our gear, it can actually like change how we perform.
That is wild.
It is.
It makes sense though, right? Like our minds are super powerful. This whole idea, it's called like external cues impacting motivation. There's tons of research on it. Those new shoes, they're like a visual reminder, right? Like, hey, remember those fitness goals? So subconsciously, it pushes us harder.
It's like they're saying, come on, let's do this, but without actually saying it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this other concept too called enclothed cognition, which is basically how what we wear affects how we see ourselves.
So it's like, I don't know, putting on a power suit for the gym.
Kind of. But yeah, like putting on those, I don't know, high-tech running shoes can make us feel more capable, more confident.
It's not just about looking the part, it's feeling the part too.
Yeah. And it's crazy, right? Even like little changes, new socks even can do it. Like it's the power of symbolism or something. Changes our mindset, which then changes our performance. It's wild. It really is amazing how much our minds play into it.
Right.
And speaking of feeling good, we should talk about comfort, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. Uncomfortable shoes, workout killer.
It's the worst. And it's not even just like avoiding blisters and stuff. There's this study, right? The effect of comfortable shoes on women's exercise performance.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading that one. Pretty interesting stuff.
For sure. They found that, get this, when people wore comfy shoes, they're running, it actually got more efficient. Lower heart rates, too.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Just from the shoes?
Yeah. And they even said it felt easier, like less effort.
So comfy shoes, better workout, something to think about.
Totally. But why is that? Why is comfort so important? Well, think about it. Your feet hurt. That's all you can focus on.
Oh, yeah. Forget your form. Forget breathing. It's just like, ugh, my feet.
Exactly. So comfort, it lets you actually, focus on what you're doing, the workout itself. But, and this is interesting, there's like biomechanics involved too.
Biomechanics, huh? I'm not sure. What's that mean exactly?
Well, so like when your feet, they're supported well, it takes pressure off your joints.
Okay.
So then, better form, less injuries. Like the source material, it talks about shoes protecting you, right? Especially if you're doing high impact stuff.
Makes sense. Yeah, like running on the road or those box jumps, all that.
Yeah, for sure. Shoes are like a buffer. They take some of that impact, so your joints don't have to.
Right. So comfort and support, that's key.
Yeah.
But, and I'm curious about this because we mentioned it before, but this whole barefoot training thing seems like the opposite of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, it really does. It's kind of like, wait a minute, we just talked about all this stuff, and now you're saying ditch the shoes. But the source material gets into it, and honestly, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of research on barefoot training now. Yeah. And you're right, it does seem kind of counterintuitive after talking about support and all that.
Right. But there are some pretty compelling reasons to maybe give it a shot.
Yeah, one of the authors we read actually talked about how they lift weights barefoot now.
Really?
Yeah, and they were saying it makes them feel more, like, grounded, powerful even.
Interesting. Yeah, and that kind of like anecdotal stuff. We see it in the research too, actually. Like there's this one study, it found that working out barefoot can actually improve your balance and strength.
Wait, really? See, that's what's so weird to me. If you don't have shoes, wouldn't you be like more wobbly? Less stable?
You'd think so, right? But it's because of this thing called proprioception. Basically, it's how your body understands where it is in space.
Okay, I think I've heard that word before, but explain it to me like I'm 5.
All right. So basically, when you're barefoot, the nerves in your feet, they're sending way more information to your brain about the ground. Like way more than if you're wearing shoes.
Oh, okay. More feedback.
Exactly. So you're getting all this extra sensory input, and that actually translates to better balance, stability, you name it.
Huh. So it's like our feet are sending our brain a super high-definition picture of what's going on down there.
Exactly. A high-def map of the ground so you can move better.
That's wild. Okay, so I'm getting it. But is this, like, for everyone? Should we all be ditching our shoes at the gym?
Probably not for everyone, no. Like, the research is cool, but everybody's different, right? What works for one person might not work for you.
Right, right. And the source material talks about that, too. You really got to listen to your body. Figure out what works for you.
Exactly. There's no, like, one right answer when it comes to shoes, you know? It's all about finding that balance. Comfort, support, letting your body move naturally, it's all got to work together.
So what you're saying is, maybe don't throw out all your shoes just yet. But don't be afraid to experiment a little.
Exactly. Maybe try a few exercises barefoot, see how it feels. Or like if you're a runner, there are those minimalist shoes. They let your feet move more naturally.
It's all about finding what works for you. And hey, maybe you'll unlock some hidden performance potential.
Right. And that's what's so cool about all this, right? We've just scratched the surface here. But it makes you think, what other little things, you know, in our routines are affecting how we do? Things we don't even realize. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. But wow, this one really got me thinking. Big thanks to our expert for breaking it all down.
Happy to be here.
And as always, thanks to all of you for listening. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.